Good morning. Welcome to the Maryhaven 2021 Restoring Lives virtual celebration.
Something is wrong with my mom. Mommy doesn't seem right.
Drugs and alcohol have caused so much chaos in my life.
And that turned from the prescription drugs to using a needle and shooting heroin.
I became homeless. I ate from a dumpster. Everything I had fit in one trash bag.
When I first tried crack, that was it.
And I have so much gratitude for Maryhaven. Maryhaven saved my life.
Maryhaven helped me gain custody of my kids back, see the light at the end of the tunnel. There is a light.
Now, because of Maryhaven, I own a business and get to spoil my grandchildren.
Now, because of Maryhaven, people have forgiven me, and I have forgiven myself.
And here's the best. I come home every day to a house of love.
I am proud of my mom because she is taking care of herself. Maryhaven helped my mom get her life back and me back.
And now, please welcome Angela Ann, morning news anchor for WBNS 10 TV.
Good morning, and welcome to the 2021 Maryhaven Restoring Lives virtual celebration. Today, we are going to celebrate the thousands of lives that have been restored because of the great work being done at Maryhaven. We have this opportunity to celebrate because of the support of our generous sponsors. Please allow me to thank them. Our title sponsors, American Electric Power Foundation, United Healthcare. Our matching sponsor, Huntington. Empowerment sponsors, Bath and Body Works, Brainstorm Media, and PNC Bank. Our enrichment sponsors, Nationwide, a gift in honor of Amy Wilson Smith, and the Robert Weiler Company. We have many supporting sponsors as well. All City Cleaning Services, Beverly Darwin, Buyers Auto Group, Honda of America, Contracting Solutions, The Collective Genius, also Grange Insurance, Ohio Health, Primary One Health, Sharver and Philadelphia Insurance Companies, and the Crane Group. And finally, thank you to all our caring sponsors. And we'd like to thank you for joining us as we come to you once again, virtually, but still unified in recognizing the importance of the continued need to help those seeking recovery in our communities. My name is Angela Ann with WBNS 10 TV, and I am happy to be here with you this morning to celebrate the incredible accomplishments that have been made in this past year despite the obstacles of the pandemic and the ongoing opioid crisis. The need for donations is still great, and that's why we're here this morning. So at the bottom of your screen, you'll find the way in which you can help. It's easy. Just text the word HOPE to 833-371-2252. I'd like to turn our attention now to Sue Zazon, Central Ohio Regional President of Huntington Bank, with a very important message on how you can help us today.
Good morning. We at Huntington are committed to strengthening and transforming our community. That is one reason we have an executive serving on Maryhaven's board of directors and have supported the important work Maryhaven is doing for years. As we all know, these are challenging times for everyone. Maryhaven is in the trenches, fighting two wars, the COVID-19 pandemic and the opioid epidemic. Our goal today is to raise $15,000, 100% of which will go directly to benefit those in Mary Haven's life-changing programs. And to make your donation go even further, Huntington has provided a match of $15,000. So let's work together and turn your donations into $30,000 in support of Mary Haven.
Just text HOPE to 833-371-2252.
Thank you in advance for caring. We're all in this together.
Let's take a look at our barometer. That's fantastic! Thank you all for your donations. Please keep them coming. Thank you, Sue, and thank you to Huntington Bank for your continued support of Mary Haven. We couldn't do it without you. We also couldn't do it without the American Electric Power Foundation, the recipient of this year's Restoring Lives Award. Thanks to our friends at the AEP Foundation, so many of our homeless neighbors have been helped through Mary Haven's outreach programs. Please welcome Vice President, Community Engagement and Diversity Inclusion, President, AEP Foundation, Janelle Coleman.
Good morning. The AEP Foundation is honored to accept this award. We are also proud to have an AEP executive serve on Mary Haven's Board of Directors. However, the people I am most excited about recognizing today are the Mary Haven employees. They are heroes. Since the pandemic began, Mary Haven employees have kept the doors open even as they and those they cared for got sick. These employees found new ways to protect and still serve. Mary Haven has many life-saving services and is most well known for the work they do with addiction. But I'm not sure that everyone is aware of their efforts to help the homeless population. The AEP Foundation supports organizations that provide basic human services in the areas of hunger and housing to assure that people have the necessities to build successful lives. The AEP Foundation is proud to have supported Mary Haven's homelessness outreach efforts, where, once again, Mary Haven employees put themselves on the front lines to ensure our community members have what they need. The outreach efforts consist of employees visiting homeless camps and providing food, supplies, and encouragement to those living on the streets. Oftentimes, the employees are making sure these individuals know they have a place to go, which is the Mary Haven Engagement Center. There, they can get a meal, take a shower, wash their clothes, spend the night, and receive services such as housing and employment. This is just one of many examples of how Mary Haven's employees continue to meet the needs of our community. On behalf of AEP and our entire community, we say thank you.
Thank you, Janelle, and AEP, for your support that enables Mary Haven to continue to be a haven where everyone receives hope to heal. Like most of you, this year continues to challenge us, personally and professionally, in ways that we never thought were possible. As we deal with an insurgence of positive COVID cases that affect our staff and patients, we are reminded that substance abuse and mental health challenges do not magically disappear because of an ongoing pandemic. In 2020, here in Franklin County, there were 855 drug overdoses that resulted in death. These terrible tragedies not only represent a 45.6% increase from last year, but also serves as a reminder that families are being torn apart each day, and the services in which Mary Haven provides are even more critical. That is why we have continued to listen, found new ways to respond, and acted to enhance immediate access to treatment that meets community need. Just last year, thanks to the Osteopathic Heritage Foundation, we created a centralized intake process that allows patients to walk into our facility and receive same-day services. Today, we're developing a new residential unit that will provide long-term treatment for up to 4 months, all while working to enhance our regional services in Mary Haven's regional offices. These strategic initiatives would not have been possible without your help. Thank you to our dedicated board of directors, incredible staff, community partners, and patients who entrust us to provide for their care. Because of you, even under the most dire conditions, hope can heal. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Erin Prescott with the Osteopathic Heritage Foundation, and it's been a privilege to strategically partner with Mary Haven to expand their essential behavioral health services over the years. The mission of the Osteopathic Heritage Foundation is to improve the health and quality of life in the community through education, research, and service consistent with our osteopathic heritage. We advance this mission by investing in strategic funding priorities that improve community health and advance osteopathic medicine. Since 2012, the Foundation has been investing in behavioral health and substance use disorders, and to date, over $9.5 million has been approved to expand treatment and recovery options in Central and Southeastern Ohio. In Central Ohio, Maryhaven is an important partner for the Foundation as they are an essential provider of high-quality treatment and recovery services, which are designed to meet individuals where they are in their recovery journey. Over the past 7 years, the Foundation has invested over $2.4 million in Maryhaven's service expansion and program delivery, including opening of the Addiction Stabilization Center, introduction of the Central Intake Department, and now the expansion of the Adult Residential Treatment Unit. These investments have resulted in capacity to serve more than 2,000 annual admissions to the Addiction Stabilization Center, which opened in 2018, with more than 90% of clients continuing on to further treatment programs. The 2021 expansion of the Adult Residential Treatment Unit will ensure seamless access to continued care. The Foundation is proud of its investments in Maryhaven, and we are grateful for the high-quality, dignified care that is provided for patients at all stages of recovery. Thank you, Maryhaven.
Thank you, Sean and Aaron. Once completed, Maryhaven's long-term residential facility will become a safe haven where those seeking recovery receive hope to heal. Next, I'd like to introduce you to Robin, whose inspiring story will illustrate the value of your investment in Maryhaven.
My name is Robin, and my clean date is December 3rd, 2020. I was born to a mother who was an alcoholic. I was taken away from her at the age of 4, and I was in foster care from the ages 4 to 8. When I was 8 years old, I was adopted into a family of my choice. My only job as a child was to go to school and get good grades. So I would say my mistake started when I dropped out of college. I wanted to live life and make my own money, right? I used to work with a bunch of addicts who did other stuff that kind of sparked my curiosity in the sense where I wanted to try other things. The first thing I dibbled and dabbled with was tar heroin and Percocets, and then cocaine for a little bit before I got into the crack cocaine and fentanyl. I ended up losing my job because my addiction got bad, and I caught my first felony. And that was my first time ever going to jail. Since I lost my job, I had to resort to prostitution, and I ended up on probation. And I violated my probation because I did not show up to meet my probation officer, so I was labeled absconder. And when the police finally did find me, I did have to do some jail time. And I got out in March 2019. Thanks to COVID, I got out early, but I did go back to the streets. And I hadn't planned on it, but I got pregnant. And I knew that if I wanted to keep my daughter, that I would have to do something about my drug use. My rock bottom in my addiction is when I lost all my morals. You know, I just got to a point where I couldn't stand to look at myself in the mirror. I would do anything for that next fix, whether it would sell my body, sell my soul. December 8th, 2020, I was accepted into Maryhaven Women's Program. And I got accepted into Amethyst. And here we are. Maryhaven impacted my life by giving me an opportunity to live again. When I came into that Maryhaven detox on South High, I was broken. It helped me by listening to me. It helped me by providing shelter. They took me in off the streets. They provided somewhere where I felt safe, not only for me, but safe environment for me to bring my baby into. A bad day today doesn't even compare to a bad day when I was using. I can call my mom at any time and just have a normal conversation today, and that feels good. Life is good today.
All right, let's take another look at our barometer. Here we go. Look at that. Thank you all for your donations. Mary Haven's regional offices offer unique services to individuals and families seeking recovery. That includes those within the LGBTQ community, inmates in prison, and children in schools. So let's see how these unique offerings are making a difference.
Hello, I'm Melissa Meyer, Director of Regional Services for Mary Haven. I am proud of the work being done by our dedicated staff in Marysville, Marion, Delaware, and Mount Gilead. We have specialized services in each location, which would not be possible without the support and partnership of our generous funders. In Marysville, we partner with the Mental Health Board of Union County. It is my privilege to introduce to you Dr. Philip Atkins, Executive Director of the Mental Health and Recovery Board of Union County.
Good afternoon. I'm Dr. Phil Atkins, Executive Director of the Mental Health and Recovery Board of Union County. Our relationship with Mary Haven at the Mills in Union County has not only been one of restoring lives, but also represents building our best lives from the ground up. Our regional office is a demonstration of Mary Haven's adaptability, creativity, and commitment to service. In Union County, Mary Haven provides not only the core of substance abuse services, but is our primary community mental health provider as well. The leadership here is always willing to respond to the needs of our communities. We're very proud of our collaborations with Mary Haven and our local schools to provide our School Navigator program. We know that you can have the greatest community-based services, but if people can't access them when they need them, they're of little use. So we have caring behavioral health professionals embedded in each district, providers who are fully part of the school environment to help teachers and families and kids navigate to the right services at the right time. It's an invaluable support to our educators and families. The program has been so successful that Mary Haven and the Mental Health and Recovery Board of Union County and Marysville Schools have developed a model that has won state recognition and is now being replicated in communities throughout Ohio. It's an example of Mary Haven seeing a need and being there with a solution. We also appreciate Mary Haven's commitment to special populations and to meeting the needs of people whose voices may not always be heard. Last year, we were able to partner with Mary Haven to develop LGBTQ+ specific programming and clinical services. We know that people who identify as LGBTQ+ experience significant stressors as a result of being in environments that are often not accepting or even hostile. We have seen firsthand the tragedy play out when our LGBTQ kids feel they're alone. With Mary Haven's leadership and willingness to provide not only treatment, but also advocacy, we want all of our community members to know that they have a safe place to heal and grow.
My name is Cole Rice. I'm an outpatient therapist at our Marysville location at Mary Haven in Union County. My role is an outpatient therapist with a specialty in the LGBTQ community. I serve our young people and adults with their mental health needs and alcohol and other drug substance abuse issues. This program is necessary because over the years that we've known, based on research, that young people who have gender identity or different dysphoria come from the LGBTQ community, they don't have a lot of safe places. So this is a safe place that they can talk about how they feel and how the world sees them and how they see themselves. I've got a client who's 7 years old, all the way to in their 60s. So we serve all populations. The biggest concern is being accepted at school and at home. We have a lot of children, youth, that they're not accepted by their parents, calling them by their wrong pronouns. They don't call them by their chosen name. And that's hard for our young people who this is who they want to be, and they're told that you can't be that person. And it causes a lot of suicidal ideation, depression, anxiety, things like that the young people shouldn't have to go through. I absolutely love the work that I do. It brings me peace and comfort to know that there's somebody for our young people to talk to. I wish I had somebody like me to talk to when I was growing up. It would have saved me from a lot of self-harm, a lot of self-abuse. I was my biggest abuser because I kept it inside because I didn't think anybody would understand. I'm just really grateful for the opportunity that I have right now to serve a community that has been oppressed. We deserve the respect and understanding that we're all human and we deserve to be treated with respect.
I am so excited about the future of Maryhaven and Union County. As one of the fastest growing counties in Ohio, we needed a provider that wasn't just responsive to growth and change, but one that anticipates it and even creates a dynamic vision of what we can and will be. The Mental Health and Recovery Board of Union County and Maryhaven have a relationship that is far beyond that of funder and provider, but represents co-creators of the future of behavioral health. That's more than just restoring lives. It's leading our community to the healthiest version of itself. We could not be prouder than to be on this journey with you.
Thank you, Dr. Phil. In addition to the Union County services, in Marion, we have an excellent medically assisted treatment program, and this is a county in which we are expanding our school navigator program. In Delaware and Mount Gilead, we have an impressive jail program and rapid engagement program, which allows residents to have same-day access, walk-in, to screenings and intervention. We have a wonderful partnership with the Delaware Morrow Mental Health Recovery Services Board, without whom none of these programs would be possible. It is my pleasure to introduce Deanna Brandt, Executive Director of the Delaware Morrow Mental Health and Recovery Services Board.
Like the other boards that you've heard from today, our goal is to ensure every resident of our two-county area has access to timely, high-quality behavioral health care. And when we say every resident, we mean absolutely every resident in need. This means that those who are struggling with addiction and their families, those who may have slipped through the cracks and fallen beyond other societal safety nets, those who are awaiting trial or serving a sentence whose primary issue is mental health or addiction, every resident deserves access to effective and efficient health care. Our partnership with Maryhaven allows us to fulfill this goal. Addiction and substance use can turn deadly in the blink of an eye, and every minute matters. That's why a rapid response program is essential to save lives and assist individuals and families into treatment and recovery. The challenging and trying work of withdrawal management and recovery cannot begin until that initial immediate engagement is made. Maryhaven's commitment to this rapid response, as well as their efforts in distributing life-saving Narcan, saves lives and gives people that crucial next chance. We also partner with Maryhaven to place licensed clinicians into both of our jails. Their work with inmates ranges from assessment to crisis intervention, even helping inmates successfully transition back into society. Compassionate care must exist everywhere in the county for it to truly be a safety net. And knowing what we know about recidivism and rehabilitation makes these clinicians so vital to our wellness efforts. We know that treatment works. We know that people in treatment can and do get better. We also know that people in recovery go back to work. This is how the cycle continues and how we can continue to make these services available. Maryhaven plays such a significant role in this cycle, and we are proud to partner with them.
Thanks to Maryhaven's regional presence, more individuals and families have the resources they need to live healthy lives free from addiction and mental illness. In our next story, John exemplifies how your support has not only helped him to recover, but how he is now helping others to thrive.
I'm the youngest of 10 children. I grew up in a home with untreated alcoholism because my mom quit drinking at 41. And I was born right when she had quit drinking. She called me the change of life baby. And so growing up, I thought that I was this great kid because my mom quit drinking, and I kind of got my way, and I learned how to manipulate really early. I was like a liar, cheat, and a thief. I don't know how or why. It just felt good to me to kind of trick people and to do things like that. I had gave a young lady at school a pair of earrings that was my mother, and I expected her to be my girlfriend. I think I was maybe in the 4th grade, and she said, you know, John, I can't be your girlfriend. And I said, you know, why not? She said, because you're gay. I said, what? I said, I can't be gay. And from that day on, I really felt like, you know, I had something that I did not like about myself. When I became about 16 years old, I can tell you that I had my first blackout. And I loved the atmosphere of drinking, and I loved what it did for me. With that attitude, I drank every day. And along the way, I met a young lady, and she liked me, and I liked her, and we started dating. And she ended up pregnant with my first son. I still kept partying. My friends would then take me to my kid's mom's house, and so they would just kind of carry me up the steps, knock on the door, and just kind of shove me in. And that became like my MO on the weekends. That's how I would get home. And after my son was born, my kid's mom was like, this is just becoming too much. You can't be a part of his life. I didn't think that I had a drinking problem because I had 2 cars, 2 jobs, 2 houses, and I took care of my family. I had gotten into hard drugs, and you know, I didn't really care about anything. For me, my rock bottom was basically losing my family, living in homeless shelters. My mom had passed away, and that began my journey on getting sober. Mary Haven has impacted my life in several ways. It gave me the ability to meet people in recovery, and they started talking to us about working steps and getting sober, and they started sharing their stories that were similar to mine. They also set me up to go to long-term treatment. I'm forever grateful for those experiences because when I graduated from those programs, I had 9 months of sobriety. I never would have imagined that I would be comfortable in my own skin. It just really changed my whole outlook. I got a whole bunch of education on the disease of addiction and alcoholism, things that I had never known that were core issues of my own. My counselor actually gave me my job at Mary Haven. He was actually the director of the stabilization unit, and he asked me to come over and work at Mary Haven. I'm able to help others that are suffering from the same disease. You can't get sober for your children. You have to get sober for yourself. You can't get sober for mom and dad. You have to get sober for yourself. Mary Haven taught me that it starts with me.
Let's take one final look at that barometer. Wow, that's just amazing. Thank you. Keep them coming. You have until midnight tonight, and we couldn't do it without you. On behalf of Mary Haven's Board of Directors, staff, and the clients they serve, thank you all for joining us today. And special thanks to the AEP Foundation, United Healthcare, Huntington, and all our sponsors. And please, if you haven't already, text the word HOPE to 833-371-2252 and restore someone's life today.
What makes Mary Haven unique is that we don't turn anyone away, regardless of their ability to pay. In fact, we spend $1.5 million a year for indigent care. Events like this and generous donors like you make it possible for us to provide these services. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your support of Mary Haven and your boundless energy to make sure that everyone in our community has a safe and decent place to live.
Thank you for your support of Mary Haven and the important work that they do.
I would like to thank all the donors who have contributed to Mary Haven. I am a product of your contributions. I thank you so much for giving. I ask you to continue to give because Mary Haven definitely saves lives.
Thank you to everyone participating today for your support of Mary Haven's critical services in the community.
Thank you to all of you who have donated to Mary Haven. Your donations allow us to continue to provide the wonderful services that we provide to the community and to the individuals within our community that are impacted by mental health and substance use issues every single day. Again, the deepest thank you from all of us at Mary Haven.
I want to thank Mary Haven for taking me in when I was broken and for caring for me when I didn't care about myself.
Thank you for allowing me to do what I love and do what we need in the community in Marysville, in Union County. And thank you for all your time and effort that you put in over the years to allow us to continue to do what we do.
I'd like to thank you for being with us at Restoring Lives as we celebrate Mary Haven and celebrate restoring lives together.
Thank you again for being with us and have a wonderful day. Be safe and be well.